Hello. Welcome to this strange stream that myself and Jan Sesnick do, where every week we alternate, and each week one of us implements more of the audio in this kind of strange Unity project that I've set up. So I guess I'll start by doing the same thing that I think we both do at the start of each stream, which is I'm just going to quickly walk through the game. So that we know kind of where we're starting from. So, okay, let's see. Occlusion Script is doing something weird there. Not sure why it did that. Okay. So my main goal this week is to get these whispers being less, well, being better basically. I want to make the whispers better. Because I don't think they're very good at the moment. I have, in my head, I have kind of a clear idea of what I want them to be, and they're very much not that at the moment. I feel like I'm hearing a bit of distortion on those cracks. That might be something we need to take a look at too. I think we're clipping in those. Okay, and I don't think Jan added anything more, so I'm going to kind of skip the long line up the circular path. So yeah, so as I was saying, the main thing I want to do this week is I want to basically redo the whispers and get them working a bit better and sounding a bit better, which would be great. So let's see. Sorry, I'm just double checking that the stream was definitely on. Let's see. So what I want to do is I've decided I'm going to read from a book, because I think that makes more sense than me just making weird sounds. I think it's going to be more unsettling, hopefully, if it's actual words. And also, like, this project is kind of like all of the text and stuff you see in the project is just it's taken from so let's see, hang on. So the text in the red rooms are from lyrics from The Knives We Share Our Mother's Health. The text, the quote at the end, is from Catherine Valente's book Palimpsest. The red sphere, which I call Barbless, is named after the red sphere in Grant Morrison's comic book or graphic novel, The Invisibles. So yeah, I think it makes sense to me to just grab a book off my bookshelf and use that as the text for the whispers that I'm going to record. So I might change back to my webcam. So my plan is to read a passage from Jeff Noon's Falling Out of Cars, which is a book that I love. And it's also, I think, a book that not that many people have read because I think it's out of print now, actually. Sorry, the start of this stream is just going to be Neil recommends you a book. But like I think a lot of people know Jeff Newton more for his like first book, Vert. And like personally, I actually read Falling Out of Cars before I read Vert and was kind of disappointed when I read Vert. Like I don't know, like Vert feels very much like a kind of 90s zeitgeisty kind of youth culture kind of story, whereas Falling Out of Cars is a lot more interesting to me, at least. It's basically the story of this virus that starts to kind of consume the world, but it's not a virus. It's not a virus in the usual sense. It's a semantic virus, which means that when you contract it, you gradually lose your ability to make sense of the world. You gradually lose the ability to understand what your senses are telling you. And it's kind of fascinating because the book's kind of written in first person from the perspective of this woman who kind of contracts it. And as the book progresses, it gradually just kind of dissolves into this this kind of linguistic noise. It's like this really beautiful kind of almost like dreamlike drift away from like the start of the book is kind of fairly straightforward and easy to understand, but towards the end it just becomes like this far more kind of poetic kind of dreamlike kind of staticky noise. It's really kind of beautiful. Anyway, I just really like this book, which is why I chose it. So I'm going to read a passage from this. I'm going to record myself whispering this passage, so hopefully my mic is going to pick that up fairly well. But yeah, that's my plan. So I'm going to switch back to my screen and switch over to Reaper. No, I think I'm just going to start a new track for this. And let's see, so I want to record enable. Oh, I need to turn off record monitoring. There we go. We don't need that. And yeah, okay. Okay. Sorry, let me get it set up where I can hold the book to see it and also still have and not cover my webcam with the book. And in fact also still see, oh, this is going to be complicated because I also need to see my monitor and to start the recording. Okay. I don't know how well this is going to go. This is very much like me trying out a thing that I think will be fun, but it might not work at all. Anyway, let's get started. The dog, the flower, the song, and all that flows between them. The dog we found that time amongst the flowers, with the birds singing all around. Remember? The petals all fallen on the creature, and the fur so cold we thought it dead, but no, not dead, not lost, sleeping. The petals bright upon, fallen upon, bright upon, sleeping, waking, and the musics the birds were making for themselves, of themselves, remember? And how we went home then, taking the dog with us, the scarlet flowers, the bird song, and the poem we made from all of that, all that happened, together, and then home. And the book we chose, writing the poem down in the book, dark upon the page, no, bright upon, falling, no, dying, no, but sleeping, awaking, the words awaking you, remember, how we fashioned it, the book, how we dressed it, caressed it, the book, how we disguised it, made a king and queen of it, together, how we married it, the book, made a bride of it, remember now, all to keep you from sleeping, the drugs we gave you, the powders, the golden dust that fell upon you, arousing, so bright upon your body, remember, the needles that pushed into you, to poison you, no, but to save you, with these few black marks, the wetness, scratches, no, the pain, the body, and all that flows between, not to murder you, but to bring desire to you, Angela,
And if this could only be the country of, the nation of, this will be the nation of your skin, your body and blood, fallen, befallen, no, arousing, dying, no, arousing the state of love, my part in it, a pen moving across skin, across my daughter's skin, the pen, the body, and all that flows between, bright upon, dark upon the skin, poisoning, no, bright upon, and that which is broken shall now be mended with these words to set the heart beating across the breast, the face now, the face that slowly takes on a shape, these words fallen upon, failing, no, the face becoming strange, malformed, no, the soft wetness, shreds of skin, scratches, the black ink, tiny cries of pain, darkness, the writing become a poison, and the face, a stranger's face, and the pen, now finding only sickness, should lift from the body, from the skin. But no, how can I stop from writing? How can I, no, the dog, the flower, the song, no, to wake myself, arouse myself, to let my eyes come open, the countless tiny levers, to lift the pen from the body of the girl, to let the eyes come open finally, blinking at the light that burns into them. No, no.
Okay. I'm gonna have to play that back. It looks very quiet there. I think I'm gonna have to do a bit of work to make that a bit louder, and probably, I imagine it's probably a bit noisy too. Okay, let's see.
The dog, the flower, the song, and all that flows between them. The dog we found that time amongst the flowers, with the birds singing all around.
Oh, so it is quiet, but I kind of like that. That actually, that works better than I thought it was going to.
The dog, the dog.
Right, so let's just grab it from there.
The dog, the flower.
Actually,
the dog, the
nah, that'll do. And
no, no.
I think it's probably a bit long. I'm a wee bit concerned about that.
No, no.
Pure Data doesn't, as far as I'm aware, have any way of like streaming audio from disk. So I'm a bit concerned that this might be a lot of data to just stick into memory, but I don't know. We'll see about that. First of all, what I want to do is I want to raise the volume. Yeah, okay, let's just do it this way.
The dog, the flower, the song, and all that flows between them. The dog we found that time amongst the flowers, with the birds singing all around. Remember? The petals all fallen on the creature, and the fur so cold we thought it dead, but no, not dead, not lost, sleeping. The petals bright upon. The dog, the flower, the song, and all that flows between them.
Okay, so I think, right, I'm going to add, I'm going to see if I can, there is a bit of background noise. I'd like to take care of that if I can. I'm not sure if like my voice might, the levels might be too quiet, so we'll see how this works.
The dog, the flower, the song, and all that flows between them. The dog we found that time amongst the flowers, with the birds singing all around. Remember? The petals all fallen on the creature, and the fur so cold we thought it dead, but no, not dead, not lost, sleeping. The petals bright upon, fallen upon, bright upon, sleeping, waking, and the music's the birds were making for themselves and of themselves, remember? And how we went home then, taking the dog with us, the scarlet flowers, the bird song, and the poem we made from all of that, all that happened together, and then home. And the book we chose, writing the poem down in the book, dark upon the page, no, bright upon,
also
falling, no,
going to do
dying,
a wee bit of EQing.
No, but sleeping, awaking.
There's some weird like low
awaking,
frequency stuff
awaking
happening.
You, remember?
Which I don't think we need if it's
fashioned
whispers, right?
The book, how we dressed it, caressed it. The book, how we disguised it, made a king and queen of it, together. How we married it. The book, made a bride of it. Remember now, all to keep you from sleeping. The drugs we gave you, the powders, the golden dust that fell upon you, arousing, so bright upon your body. Remember, the needles that pushed into you, to poison you, no, save you with these few black marks, the wetness, scratches, no, the pen, the
okay, I should edit out that point of me turning the page at least.
Scratches, no. The body. No, the body and all. The body. No, the body and all that flows between. Not to murder you, but to bring desire to you, Angela.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that. I think that's probably good enough. I think the idea here anyway is for it to. I think we want mono, right? The idea here is to. What was I going to say? We don't necessarily want the whispers to be like entirely or I don't necessarily want the whispers to be entirely comprehensible. I want them to be this kind of background thing where like it kind of comes in and out of focus. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. So let's call this. I can't remember how well Pure Data handles spaces in file names, so I'm just going to get rid of any spaces in this particular file name. Set it to mono, sure. And it might be too long, so I might come back and like chop it up into smaller pieces, maybe? I don't know. I think what I'd really like to do is have some kind of granular setup so that it's kind of overlaying like multiple like chunks of speech from different parts in the file. Okay, and one explorer. Let's put this. Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna just grab this. And we're going to stick this in, where is it? Assets, streaming assets. So I think we've already mentioned this, but when you're working with Pure Data in Unity, Pure Data can only load files, which means that you have to store all of your Pure Data patches and any associated sound files in the streaming assets folder. Because otherwise Unity will try and serialize them, which basically means turning them into like a binary blob. But the way that Pure Data works is it requires an actual file, not a binary blob, in order to load a patch, which is why all of our PD stuff happens in the streaming assets folder instead of like a separate sound files folder. Okay, so I've added that to my project. Now, if I come back to my occlusion patch, so what I want to do is I just want to change this file name first. And then if I do this, I'm going to bring up that so we can see the size. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yep. So we've gone past the maximum sound file that Pure Data can store in an array, which is fun. Anyway, if I do this, wait, I missed something. Oh. Oh, hang on. You probably can't hear that because it's coming out of my laptop speakers instead of my actual sound card. Let me change that. Okay.
And the music's the bird were making for themselves, of themselves, remember? And how we went home then, taking the dog with us, the scarlet flowers, the bird song.
Okay. I think I'm just going to ignore the fact that it's truncating the sound file and stripping off like however many remaining samples there are. Because I think that's fine. Yeah. So I guess Pure Data can only take 4 million samples in an array. Or it's maybe that Soundfiler can only load 4 million samples. Which, so what's that in terms of seconds? So it's like 90 seconds. Oh, it's actually not far. Like our sound file isn't actually that much bigger, if I remember. Yeah, we're like, okay, that's fine, probably. I might come back to that. I think for the moment, I just want to hear this in the game. Wait, did I not save my patch? I did not save my patch. That was a good job. Right, let's try that again.
The dog, the flower, the song,
Oh, that's
and all that
louder than I
flows
was
between
expecting.
them. The dog we found that time amongst the flowers, with the birds singing all around. Remember, the petals all fallen on the creature, and the fur so cold we thought it dead but no. Petals bright upon, fallen upon, bright upon, sleep, wake, and the music's
Okay,
for themselves.
so this is more like the kind of effect I was wanting. So we have these whispers. Oh, and we have my voice, of course, because of the mic input. We have these whispers that kind of come in and out as we're kind of blending, effectively blending between the kind of buzzy Barbless sound and the whispers.
Dark upon the page, no, bright upon, fallen.
And I really like the way that the whispers
Words awaken.
become like particularly audible when we go into the kind of crypt. That's a really nice effect. Okay, so that's working a lot better. I think, or at least the sound is far closer to what I'd intended. Now, I think, I think what I'm not so happy about is at the moment I've got the, right, there we go. At the moment we've got the whispers running in its own patch in this kind of separate game object over here, so we're not spatializing it in any way. But I think actually I would like the whispers to be spatialized on Barbless, so that if I turn away, then I hear the whispers from as though they're coming from Barbless. And I think, you know what? I think maybe the simplest solution is I'm going to grab this. I'm actually just going to drag this whispers object into Barbless. Right. I'm gonna reset it so that it's in. Oh, so it's in the center of Barbless. So we should see it. Yeah, over here. Yep. So yeah. So I think, because what I'm thinking is I would like to have maybe slightly different spatialization settings for the whispers versus the main buzz sound. So let's see, first of all I need to grab my spatialization fix. Now where would that be? What's the spatialization fix file actually? I usually have it in a folder called sound files, and I'm realizing I don't have that folder here for some reason. I click, spatial, ha, cool, right, okay, found it. So again, if you've not watched some of the previous streams, the way we apply spatialization to a PD patch in Unity is we do this kind of slightly kind of hacky workaround, because Unity doesn't automatically apply spatialization to like audio effects, or what Unity considers audio effects. So Unity only applies spatialization to audio sources. So if we want to apply Unity spatialization to our PD sounds, we need to kind of work around it a wee bit. And the way we do that is we use this like very simple spatializer fix file, which is just like a constant DC value of 1. We set it to loop constantly. And then what that does is it effectively writes the left-right panning information into our output, because we're not feeding audio to the output, we're feeding a constant value. So Unity's panning is effectively just varying that constant value on the two speakers, on the two kind of channels, depending on like our position as a listener relative to the sound. And then we can feed that into our script, our patch. And if we take a look at this ADC helper thing I made, basically we used PD's audio input, which at this stage is just the output of audio source. We use PD's audio input and just basically multiply the output of our patch. So we're basically just applying Unity's panning to our PD generated sound, basically. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this DAC, I'm going to feed this into ADC helper and save, get rid of this. And now, let's see, so I put the spatializer fix file in, I've made sure it's looping, I've turned the spatial blend up to full 3D. And yeah, so that's all I need to do there. I think what I might do is I might check my settings on Barbless, because I think I did something very different. So Barbless has a max distance of 35, so it should tail off really fast, or relatively fast for Unity. But I think for the whispers, I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Let's make it 50 for the whispers. And I'm just going to make sure that this comes all the way down to 0 at the outside. And then I've got a feeling, so with Barbless, I think I turned up the spread. Yep. So the spread in this case, what that means is it kind of varies the spatialization from treating your sound as though it's like a kind of infinitely small source, an infinitely small point in space that emits sound. And as you turn up this slider, you're basically making that sound more diffuse spatially. So rather than being an infinitely small source, it becomes this kind of more diffuse kind of field of sound. And all that really does is it just alters how much of the sound you hear in each ear. So for instance, if we've got our spread down at 0, like we see for the whispers, then when I'm standing with the sound directly to my right, I hear none of the sound in my left ear, all of the sound in my right ear. But as I turn this up, I start to hear some of the sound in my left ear. So it's effectively kind of mimicking, or it's a way of kind of fooling your brain to kind of perceive that sound as being a bit more diffuse spatially, rather than this kind of infinitely small point in space, which I think is what I want to do. And I think I want the whispers to be a bit more diffuse, but not totally diffuse, than Barbless itself. So I think that's all I want to do to start with. I want to see what that actually sounds like. Okay, so we don't hear the whispers, which is good. And as I get closer, we should start to hear them. Or maybe we don't. Oh, actually, so if you look at the graph on the right here, we can see. This is weird, hearing myself echoing in my ears. But we can see where the listener is, so we can see that actually at the moment the volume of the whispers is quite low, just because of the shape of this curve. Which means I have to get relatively close to hear it loud, which is probably not going to work. So I think I can just about make out the whispers, but they're very, very quiet relative to the other sounds. So I'm going to need to change this curve. I think this is the problem here. I'm going to actually change it to a linear curve. Normally you don't really want linear roll-offs in sound, but I think in this case that might make a bit more sense. In fact, I might do something a bit more like this, actually. Something like that. And let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so now we can hear the whispers. And again, I think I've probably gone too... In this case, I think I've probably gone too far in the opposite direction, right?
Not dead, not lost, sleeping.
So, okay, let's come back and change what I've done to this curve. I think maybe want something a bit more like this. Well, actually, hang on. So Barbless has a max distance of 35. So I probably so at this point here, at 35, Barbless is completely silent. I would like the whispers to be not completely silent. So maybe this is what I'm looking for. Oh, this is doing. Don't like the way this curve works. I would like, anyway, it's fine. Let's see if that gets a bit closer to what I'm looking for. Okay, I think that's actually really quite effective. And I think some of the things I was thinking of doing next, I'm not sure I actually need to do them. Like, I'm not sure I need to do the kind of granular stuff I was thinking of, because I think it actually is maybe a bit more effective as something that is like comprehensible than as something that's kind of a jumble of voices, which is what it would be if it was a granular thing. Especially since like there are only certain places where you actually hear it, and it's still relatively quiet. I guess down to the kind of way I've shaped this curve. Yeah, I think I might leave my patch as it is. I don't think I actually want to do anything more than that. Now what I do want to do is I want to double check. So I've got a feeling that I'm going to need to maybe add an extra script to enable and disable the whispers depending on where you are, because I've got a feeling that I'm going to be able to hear them in this space, and I don't think I want the whispers to appear until you reach the church. I think that's what I'm just going to quickly run through and just double check to see what we can hear if I just run through the game as normal. So what I'm curious about here is whether I'm going to hear the whispers before the ball appears. No.
It's making for themselves.
Yeah, okay, that needs fixed.
Flowers, the birds.
There's definitely something strange, right? I shouldn't be able to hear the whispers here, like the Barbless is not occluded. Let me just
sleeping, awaking, the words awaking.
Why does Unity think that Barbless is occluded?
How we dressed it, caressed it.
Oh look, I didn't realise you could see the debug.
Made a king and queen of it together.
Oh, okay, I see what's happening. So the reason it's occluded is this is where the door appears, but the door is not. The door is not currently active. Let's see, which is this. So the door is actually disabled.
These few black marks, the wetness, scratches.
Sorry, I'll come back to this in a sec. So yeah, so the door was actually disabled at that point, so I would have assumed that Unity wouldn't treat it as though it was blocking those rays. I think I can fix that. I think I have an idea of how we can get around that.
And that which is broken shall now be
So yeah, so I think what I want is I think I only want the whispers to appear on the church section, but before I do that, what I want to do is I want to fix my occlusion script, because I think the way to fix that problem of it treating the disabled door as though it's blocking the kind of occlusion rays is just to do a check in my code, like, is this thing that is blocking the ray, is it enabled? It's also strange to me, it feels like I shouldn't have to make that check, right? Like, if something is enabled, why are my rays colliding with it? But let's see. So where are we doing this? So okay, so in update, we cast our rays from the player towards Barbless. And if we hit something, we then check if we've hit it. If we've hit Barbless. Oh, actually, I don't know how to do this. Okay, I'm gonna need to do some quick googling, I think. Let's see. So Unity physics. Yeah, because me checking if it's enabled or not doesn't actually help, because by that point the raycast function has already returned that we have hit something. And actually what we're checking is whether we've hit Barbless. So if we hit the door before we hit Barbless, then we're kind of stuck. Ignore disabled. Let's see. Well, first of all, Google says that what we're seeing isn't supposed to happen, which is, I don't know how helpful that is. Oh, and it's apparently a bug. Okay, apparently, oh, this is a pain. It's a bug where the solution is to move the disabled, like when you disable the object, as well as disabling it, you have to move it to the ignore raycast layer. This is gonna be a pain. How long have I got before the end of my stream? I've got 20 minutes. Do I want to fix this now, or do I want to leave that? You know what? I think I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to leave myself a note. No, I do have notes for this. I have some notes somewhere. I guess it's these notes. Okay. So don't want that. Don't actually want that. I've done both of these. So fix. Okay, right, at least I've saved that somewhere, so I hopefully won't forget about it. But yeah, what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a quick script so that we enable and disable whispers when the player enters and leaves the church kind of void space. In fact, I'm not sure I actually even need to create a separate script for that. Let's find out. I think I've got. Can I just do this directly? Let's see. So this is void 2, and we entered that from this interlude. Which one's this? We enter it from interlude 2. Okay. Via door. So I think it'll be this one. So okay, yes. So okay, so this is something that I really like about Unity. It has this Unity event system where you can basically just in your code. In fact, I can show you my code. So this is the teleport on enter function class. So in your code, as long as you have like a Unity event as a kind of public variable, you can just invoke that event at any point. So any kind of trigger in your code, you call this, and then in Unity itself, you get you see those events appear as this kind of UI element, where you can just like add things that you want to happen when your code calls invoke. So in this case, I do a bunch of things. So this is when the player exits this space by walking through the door. So the first thing we do is we set the sky to white. That can't be right. Surely we set the sky to black. Let me just double check my code. Yeah, that changed. Okay, hang on. Let me quickly run this because I'm now very confused about what my code is doing. Oh, wait, no. Wait, hang on. I know what's happening. I'm in the wrong void. So we set the sky to white because this is the code that teleports the player into here, and in this case, the sky is white. So that if you for instance, if you were to walk out one of these doors, you would see a white void with this weird corridor in the middle. So I'm looking at the wrong bit of code, and yep, I don't want interlude 2. I want interlude 1. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. So when the player enters the door over here, we call invoke on our additional events variable, and because we've set up multiple things, we've triggered multiple things to happen when the player enters that door. First of all we set the sky to black, so the sky matches the floor. Then we teleport the player. Let me just double check. In a wee while since I wrote this code. Oh yeah, so we just call this teleport object component, which is here. So we basically trigger our teleport object component, which basically, in this case, it moves Barbless from here, from this void over to this void, and this is where it moves it to. That's the second thing we do, and then we enable void 2, because when we start the game, everything other than the very intro section gets disabled, so we don't see it in game. So once we enter this door, we enable this section and we disable the interlude itself so that we don't see that off in the distance. And what I can do now is I want to basically enable my whispers object, which I can just do using set active and then toggle. So this is us setting the active variable to true. So that's the first thing we do. We activate our whispers object when the player enters this door. And then the second thing, we need to get the door in the church. The floor, no, where is it? Door, here we go. And then the other thing we need to do is when the player exits the door, we want to deactivate my whispers object. So like that. So we just leave that set off. So that's going to deactivate the whispers object. So the whispers object should only be active when we're in this space, never when we're in any other space. So okay, let's just check that that actually works. Okay, so we shouldn't hear the whispers here. That's what I'm hoping. In fact, we can see off on the left in our hierarchy, whispers is currently deactivated. Oh, ooh. Well, I wonder if this is the same problem that Jan's been having. No, don't. Just load the project again. Is it? Yeah. I do wonder if there's something weird going on. This project is by far the most elaborate use of libpd in Unity that I've attempted so far. We've got quite a lot of patches, and I guess we're loading quite a lot of kind of audio data. So it is possible that something weird is happening that Unity is not happy about. Wait, is this loaded? Oh, it has. Okay. So let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure I saved my changes before it crashed. Yeah. Okay, so we just want to keep an eye on the whispers object and watch. So it's currently kind of grayed out because it's disabled. We should see it go white when we enter this space, and then go gray again when we leave this space. Oh, again. Okay, we're going to do something a bit different this time, because I think something is broken quite badly. Oh, stop that, just load the project. I'm going to try running the Visual Studio debugger, and I'm going to hope that it catches Unity as it crashes, and we can then investigate and hopefully get some indication as to what is actually happening, what the problem actually is. So, okay, right, let's see. Attach to Unity. Okay. Oh, enabled debugging for this session. Okay. What I'm hoping is this will catch the error and I'll be able to fix it. But who knows? How? Yeah, there we go. What was it? See what's going to happen. Oh no, there we go. Now is Visual Studio going to do it? Oh no, Visual Studio has no help at all. It's not told me anything. It's just immediately cancelled. Can you give me some information about what crashed? Oh, okay, right, let's see. Is this going to tell me anything that I can actually use to debug this? Open the file for me. Hang on. Can I not? No. Unity, it would be really helpful if I could double click this, just open it rather than have to navigate to it directly myself. Okay, let's do that, I guess. So what is it? It is app data, local, temp, oof. Oh, I hate that they put it here. Oh no, I missed it. Unity. Editor crashes. Okay, so what was the most recent one? 2021. I guess this one, right? Okay, what have I? Well, I guess is this what? Okay. I mean, what I want to know is where the crash happened. So maybe if I scroll, oh, there's so much information here. This is probably way more than I actually want. Oh no, here we go. Stack trace. Okay, so the problem is happening in Barbless Occlusion. Where we are sending a float to our libpd instance. So let's take a look at Barbless Occlusion. And I think we only send a float in one place. Yep. So we send a float here, and then the reason, what's that? So I guess the reason we're crashing is because for some reason libpd does not like us sending a float, so or sending a specific float. Yeah, because that's all we're doing. We're just sending a float value. I don't think there's anything particularly interesting here. Yeah, so libpd itself is crashing. That's what's happening. Okay, well, I think I need more information, right? Because I need to know what. Well, actually, no, do I? So I know that we're sending to the occlusion value. What I don't know is the exact value we sent at that point in time. Unless, were we writing that? Does that get stored here? No. Oh, I really wish Unity. Okay. Yeah, so in libpd, it tries to grab a lock. Okay, I think I need to fix this before I finish the stream, but it does mean this stream might not be particularly exciting. But I think I do need to fix it before I before I finish the stream and pass this on to Jan. I can't pass him on something that's just absolutely broken. I guess the thing that I'm confused about is this wasn't happening before I disabled the Whispers object, right? Oh, okay, I know what the problem is. The problem is we are sending this occlusion value to two patches, right? So we're sending it to, first of all, our original Barbless patch. That's the kind of buzzy synth sound. We send it here. But we're also sending it to my Occlusion Whispers patch here, right? Only if the Whispers object is disabled, this patch is not running. So I suspect what's happening, and the reason we're getting a crash, is that because PD isn't running, we're probably just libpd itself is probably just like backing up all of the calls to send float for that patch, because that patch is currently disabled. So what's probably happening is that libpd is internally going, okay, this isn't running, so I'm just going to add this latest call to a queue, so that when libpd is running again for this patch, that it can just run through those. But what because we're like calling this like 60 times a second, we're probably reaching the cap of that stack way too early, and it just crashes. So the way to fix this is, let's see, I need to add a check in here. If pd patches I dot enabled, yeah. Now I think this should fix that problem. And it does unfortunately mean this is not the problem that Jan's been having with Unity crashing when he exits play mode. I still don't know what's happening there, but I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is in this case, and I think I've just fixed it. But we're going to find out in a second once Unity actually loads this project. Okay, right. So, yeah, again, we want to keep an eye on Whispers and watch as it hopefully enables and disables. But I'm pretty sure what I've done there has fixed the crash that we were experiencing. My frame rate seems to be a bit... Oh no, it's going to be fine. Oh, I don't know. Frame rate seems a bit weird. Wait, again? Oh wait, no. Sorry, I've got this wrong, haven't I? I'm checking if... Let me just start up Unity again. What I've got wrong here is I'm checking if the component, the libpd instance component, is enabled. Obviously, well, not necessarily obviously, but that's not what we're disabling in Unity. We're disabling the game object, not the component. So that's where I went wrong here. Now I think what I can do here, yeah, I need to check if the game object is, oh no, that's not right. Oh, active. I guess it's active I'm looking for in this case. Wait, why is that complaining? Oh, active in hierarchy? Is that what you want? I should quickly Google what the difference between active self and active in hierarchy are. Sorry. Oh, yeah. So active in hierarchy is the one that I actually wanted there. So that's fine. Oh. Wait, I need to save my script. Yep. There we go. Okay, so I think now I've maybe fixed it. I don't know, we're going to find out. And let's just watch whispers. Just have I got myself turned around? Just well, so far no crashes. Okay, now when I walk through this door, we should see whispers on the left get activated. There we go.
Petals all fall on the creature. We thought it dead, but no, not dead. Sleeping. The petals brighten.
Yeah, okay. And now I just need to check that when we exit through the door down here, the whispers gets disabled too. There we go. Cool. Okay. Okay, that was a bit that was a bit more of an ordeal than I was hoping for. But I think that is us with I think quite a nice whispers effect. Like I really like the effect of kind of walking past these arches and just hearing the whispers kind of blend in and out, and particularly when you kind of enter the catacombs, just hearing them take over. I think that's kind of suitably unsettling. And anyway, I think that's probably a good time to end it. So I guess thanks for watching, and I guess Jan will be back next week to add to all of this. So yeah, okay. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.